Hello and welcome to the Geopolitics and International Relations vlog. And today the topic that I am going to discuss is the meeting between the Turkish president and the Russian president Vladimir Putin in Sochi. That meeting took place around 18 months and after this both the leaders are meeting, and the headline around the world was the restoration of the Black Sea grains deal that Russia has suspended over the acquisition and over the condition that it's linked with the Western sanctions that they imposed on Russia. And the President Putin categorically mentioned that this deal can only be restored after the West will comply to lift the sanctions that they imposed on Russia. So Turkey was the mediator and the United Nations was the mediator of this deal, and we heard a lot that after the suspension of this deal, there was a very high-profile meeting between the Russia and the African nations, and President Putin has restored and given even the free grains to the poorest and those countries of the African continent who has the shortage of these grains. So Russia said that Russia has the stance that the grain shortage is into the African continent, and the other European countries and the countries who are using the Black Sea grain as a deal, and they are using as an exploitation tool of the Russia-Ukraine conflict. So let's back to the topic that the Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan visit to Russia is very interesting, because if we see the history of the relation between the Turkey and Russia, so that is very interesting because both the countries have topsy-turvy relations. We saw that back in 2015, Turkey has shot down the Su-24 plane at that time between the Syria and the Turkey border. So that was also a very conflicting point between both the countries. Then we saw that in 2016 there was the assassination of the Russian ambassador in Turkey. So all these incidents actually are something like draws a very sensitive line between the Turkey and the Russia. We saw that after that, because Russia has a huge tourist that goes to Turkey, and Turkey is the heart destination of the Russian, Ukrainian, and the South Caucasus tourists, and the Turkish economy is heavily dependent on the Russian tourist. And after these two incidents, we saw that there was a big dent and a very setback to the Turkish economy. So Turkey relations and between East and West, and when we explain that the Turkish relations between the NATO and the Russia, so it's getting very hard for Turkey to balance between these relations. Turkey always leverage these relations, and they always use these relations of the mediation as a tool to come on the spotlight or to come on the limelight. And according to this leverage, they try to make better their economy, especially in the current crisis of the Turkish economy, because we saw that there was a lot of depreciation of the lira. We saw a lot of inflation in Turkey. So I think that President Erdogan using this Black Sea grain deal as a big leverage to uplift its economy, as they said that if we saw this impact that Turkey and Russia has pledges that they will trade in lira, and they will try to uplift between lira and between ruble, the Turkish currencies. So I think that is something like the major outcome of this meeting. However, the restoration of the Black Sea grains deal, that is seems not possible unless the West will not comply with its commitments to lift the sanctions. And I think that the Turkey has the mediator in this thing. Besides this, President Erdogan also offered as a mediator of peace between Russia and Ukraine But how this could be implemented, it's not clear. It's more look like this as a diplomatic tool or a diplomatic stunt by Turkey to play its role into the mediation. However, if we see that Turkey is also supporter of the Ukraine, and Russia has complained previously that Turkey is supplying some drones. That was reported by the media. So Turkey has a quite dubious and double role in all this scenario. And under this double role, it's also becoming more challenging for Turkey to keep this position, because as I also mentioned earlier, that there is a very thin line between Turkey and Russia. Despite we saw that in the past a couple of incidents happened that become a setback to the confidence and the major building between both the countries. So how this relation further grows, I think that the economic impact of this relation is more rather than, we can say, the other grains deal or something like this. There is also some commitments about some new nuclear energy plants that Turkey and Russia is going to build. That is also something like a major deal that could be considered. Russian president also warned and say that the gas pipelines and it could come under attack by the Ukrainians. That it's also something like a big news that he mentioned yesterday in the press conference. So this is actually some highlights of the meeting between both the leaders. So thank you very much for watching this geopolitics and international relations vlog. You can visit my website and you can follow my social media handles. Thank you very much.